Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, October 21st, 2009. So the other day I was watching the news and there was a report on a poll that was recently conducted which stated that 50-some-odd% of Americans support the public option, a majority. And they use that as evidence for why we need a public option. And that got me thinking about what I and others, of course, have called the cult of democracy. Now, what is the cult of democracy? The cult of democracy is this belief, this blindly accepted belief that democracy is the best system, that majority rule is the ultimate political system, and that if you don't support democracy, you must support totalitarianism and so on. That we need democracy. That democracy is this ultimate good. And what I want to do today is challenge that or destroy that, which is what I plan to do here in a second. First of all, on the public option, I don't care if 90% of the American public support the public option. Okay, it doesn't matter because this healthcare plan is unconstitutional. It violates my rights as an individual in two ways. Number one, it mandates that I as an individual have to purchase a good or service. I mean, that is a complete violation of my individual liberties. Second of all, it would force me as an individual, without my consent, to pay for this program through either taxes, debt, or inflation. I'm going to have to pay for it somehow. So, like I said, I don't care if 90% of the people support it. It's wrong. It shouldn't be in place. And and it goes back to what I was saying. This blindly accepted notion that democracy is good. Democracy is nothing more than two wolves and one sheep voting on what's going to be for dinner. Okay? And guess who's going to lose out? The sheep. Democracy is majority tyranny. Democracy fails to protect the rights of the minority, of the individual. It has no respect for the individual. And in democracy, if 51% of the people in any given area vote to come into my house, steal all of my goods, and kick me out on the streets, they could do it in a democracy because they got the arbitrary number of 51%. I mean, what makes 51% so great anyway? I mean, like I said, it's an arbitrary number. In a democracy, in the 1950s, if you went to Alabama or Mississippi and held a referendum on whether or not there should be segregation, whether or not blacks should have political rights, whether or not blacks should have legal rights, in a democracy, segregation would be upheld because a majority of people in those states supported segregation. In a democracy, if 51% of the nation decides that they want the Catholic Church or the Baptist Church or whoever to be the official religion of the United States, they could do it because they reached that magic number of 51%. So, I mean, I reject democracy. Now, why is democracy so blindly accepted in our society? Well, I think it's due to several things, but the number one reason why I think it's blindly accepted is that we have created this paradigm of democracy versus dictatorship or totalitarianism, and that these two political systems are polar opposites of each other, and that anything that isn't a democracy must be totalitarianism. We've created this binary paradigm, but I reject that paradigm. There are alternatives to democracy that aren't totalitarian. In fact, I would argue that both democracy and totalitarianism have elements of tyranny. Now, do I prefer democracy to a one-man dictatorship? Yes. However, that doesn't mean I think democracy is the best system. Totalitarianism is a tyranny of one individual over everybody else, or dictatorship is a tyranny of one individual over everybody else. Democracy is the tyranny of the 51% over the 49%. That's democracy. What about creating a society or a political system where there is no tyranny, where individual rights are respected, where even if 95% of the country wants to eliminate a basic right, they're not allowed to because those rights are protected. What rights am I talking about? I went over this in a previous blog. The natural rights of life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness. And in the ideal society, well, in the ideal society, there would be no government. But in the kind of world I'm talking about, the government that does exist could never violate those natural rights. Could never say, okay, 51% of the country said that they want to deduct Social Security from your paycheck, so therefore you have to do it or you're going to go to prison. They can't do that because that would be considered tyranny. So democracy is not the ideal system, and we have to move away from this notion that if 51% of people advocate something, we can do it. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Finally, just to change the subject a little bit, just a note to my viewers and subscribers. I haven't said this before, but I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. I mean, that means a lot to me. I've consistently received dozens of viewers for all my videos, and I have a number of subscribers now, and it feels good, and I like the fact that people are listening to me and that they respect my opinion. So I just want to thank you guys and encourage you to make your own videos and or video responses to my videos or whatever, or post a video blog that you like of mine on your Facebook page, or show it to your friends or your family. I'm trying to expand my viewership. One of my videos recently got close to 1,000 views. Now that was more the exception than a rule, but it's been working out pretty well, and I enjoy doing it, and I'm going to continue doing it. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I know I promised a video on the Fed. I promise I'll get to it. I want to do it right because I think it's a very important issue. So anyway, this was my opinion on democracy, and I hope you enjoyed it. So long.